Coming to your most comfortable seated position, sitting on 1 or 2 blankets to raise the hips up and forward. Let the backs of the hands rest onto the knees or the thighs with the palms face up. Let the sit bones melt into the mat and the crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. Relax the shoulders away from the ears and bring the shoulder blades more onto the back. Relax into the closed eyes and let the eyes float in the eye sockets. Part the teeth and begin to breathe into the belly, into the ribs, and into the tips of the lungs. Inhaling and exhaling. Allowing yourself to begin to calm the mind. Concentrate on your inhalations and let the exhalations happen at will. Breathe, breathe, breathe. If your mind starts to fill with other thoughts other than your breath, allow yourself just to move gently back into concentrating on your breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. As we begin to come out of our mini meditation, lengthen through the legs and give them a bit of a movement here by flexing and pointing the toes. And then we are going to allow ourselves to gently bring the soles of our feet together. As we bring the soles of the feet together, we might not feel that comfortable bringing the heels towards the groin. So take a bolster and place the bolster between your feet, resting the soles of the feet on either side of the bolster and the forehead onto the top of the bolster. Allow the knees to be supported by blocks. Bolster is vertical. The top of the bolster rests onto the chest, allowing the head to come forward. You can find the most comfortable place for your chin or your forehead. Take a nice deep breath here and relax. If you'd like more of a challenge, then we're going to draw the soles of the feet together a little bit more. You can still be supported by the blocks, but here just take a moment and marinate and begin to feel maybe a little bit more of a challenge by bringing the bolster onto the tops of the knees. You can bring your elbows onto the bolster and your chin rests onto the hands, or the forehead can rest onto the heel of the hand. A slight forward fold here as the spine rounds, and you might be able to begin to bring the arms over the bolster as you drape the upper body over the bolster. Support the head by bringing palm on top of palm, or supporting your head either way with a block, or maybe perhaps with fist on top of fist. If you'd like it even more of a bit of a challenge and you have quite a lot of flexibility through the hips, then maybe you don't need the bolster at all. Maybe you can get rid of the blocks and let the upper body cascade forward, bringing the elbows onto the mat, and support your head with your hands under the chin. Or maybe You can bring your hands underneath your forehead, or perhaps bring the forehead all the way down to the mat. Sometimes a block underneath the forehead and the arms forward gives a nice sort of relaxation for the upper body, yet the head is supported. Take a nice deep breath in butterfly. And the meridians of the body that are being affected here are the gallbladder lines on the outside of the legs and the urinary bladder lines. They run along the spine in the lower back. If the feet are in close to the groin, then you're going to feel more of a stretch in the inner thighs. That means the kidney and the liver lines are quite stimulated. You might even be able to get rid of the block and bring your forehead all the way down as you begin to relax through the 11 layers of ligaments and tendons in the lower back. You might want to be careful here. It can aggravate sciatica. But you can elevate the hips high by sitting on a cushion. Just until the knees are below the hips. Or you can avoid this pose entirely. But if you're feeling a little bit as if you want a good sort of openness feeling into the hips, then by all means, adjust your butterfly until you're feeling it. If you don't have any issues with the lower back or the spine in general that doesn't allow a lot of flexation, then allow yourself to keep your back straight. Any issues with the neck, you want to always support the head. Beginning now to raise up. Bring the knees together and lengthen the legs out. Nice deep breath here. You might want to take windshield wipers with the legs, coming back and forth. Maybe a tabletop as you lift the hips, placing the soles of the feet on the floor, bending the knees, lifting the hips, taking the head back, and then maybe just allow yourself to readjust your body so that we bring the right leg over the left knee. And as we do this, we are just sort of coming forward, just taking a moment here. And if we'd like to go a little bit further, then we're going to bend through the bottom knee and come into shoelace. So we're stacking knee upon knee as we sit between the feet. And the bony part of the foot is on either side of our body on the mat. You can come forward and support your forehead with your fist on top of fist, placed onto your knee. Allow yourself just a moment here, raising up again. And the forward fold doesn't have to happen. It's only if you're feeling like you'd like to. Place the blocks, 2 blocks to your left. And here we are going to take the left forearm onto the block and lift the right arm up to a little side stretch here. Bend through the right elbow and bring the hand behind the head if that's comfortable for you. Take the right arm up towards the sky and bring the hand down. So that's the first phase of this wonderful stretch. You can get rid of the block, one of the blocks anyway, and bring the left forearm down to the block, and again reach the right arm up. Bend through the elbow and see how that feels. And then of course you can get rid of all the blocks and bring that left forearm all the way down to the mat. Reach the right arm all the way up. And again, bend through that right elbow and bring the hand onto the back of the head. You can also bend through the bottom elbow and support the head as you let the right elbow relax. You can also take that right hand and place the back of that right hand onto the lower back as you begin to open up the body. Sort of adjusting and creating this space where you kind of wriggle into your position, into your posture. Because as in Yin, we hold our postures, and here we're going to hold it for a few more minutes. Inhale and exhale. Now breathe deeply into that right hip. If the knees are compromised here, then by all means, allow yourself to adjust your posture. No pinching or pain allowed, only a nice dull ache. The meridians affected are the liver, kidney, and gallbladder. If you are allowing yourself to hold this posture longer, then allow yourself to really begin to feel any resistance in the body, especially into these and the hips. So you never want to cause any strain in your Yin postures, just a nice dull ache. Inhale and exhale. As you inhale and exhale, breathe into that right hip. We're also breathing into the right underarm. And as we breathe into the right underarm, you're also breathing into the lung and the pericardium meridians in the upper body. Shoelace is a great hip opener. Again, allow yourself to mentally scan your body to make sure that this posture is right for you. Lifting the right arm up, coming out of this posture. Again, help your legs and release your legs forward. As you release your legs forward again, bend in through the knees, soles of the feet to the floor, and let's take a nice tabletop as you lift the hips. Bring the sit bones down, and again, take a nice deep breath. Lengthen the legs out, and we're going to draw that left leg back and fold that right leg forward. So we're sitting on that right hip, and the right shin is forward and parallel with the mat. We're going to take two bolsters, and we're going to place the two bolsters in front of us. This is your phase one. We're going to allow the elbows to come onto the bolsters and just let your upper body relax. You might be feeling this quite a bit into that front hip, into the right hip. But we don't want any sensational feelings. We just want a nice feeling of dull achiness. If this phase one works for you, then use this. If not, then you'd like to go a little bit further. Remove the top bolster and relax onto the lower bolster. You can let the upper body drape over the bolster. You can bring your right or your left cheek onto the bolster, and if you really feel as if you'd like to go a little bit further, you can take that left knee back a little bit more. Inhale and exhale. And sometimes we want to be a little bit more challenged, so we're going to get rid of bolsters altogether, and we are going to come down onto our elbows forward. As we rest the elbows onto the mat, now we're coming into quite a deep deep posture here. You can support the head or the forehead with the heels of the hands. Maybe you can bring the forehead all the way onto the mat and bring the arms forward. So the meridians and the organs of the body affected here are the liver and the kidney and the stomach through a little compression. Of course, the spleen that runs through the inner creases of the hips, the gallbladder and the urinary bladder line that runs down the spine. Make sure your knees are not complaining. You just want that nice sort of feeling of a dull achiness. Lots of alternatives, but this is our swan, our sleeping swan. It's a pigeon in our yang style practice, but in yin, it is our swan. And this is an alternate swan. So enjoy. In other videos, we will be doing the full swan, but for this video, we are just allowing ourselves to begin to feel swan in a different way. Inhale and exhale. Breathing deeply into the lower back and into the kidneys. Breathing into the side body, letting that beautiful rise and fall of the breath in the body. On your next inhalation, raising up very carefully. Nice and slow. And then here we are going to roll onto that left knee and we're going to take a nice downward dog. So we're going to walk out the dog. Nice stretch here. Just using it as a transition pose and walking out your dog a little bit. Coming down onto our hands and our knees. Let's sit on that sit bones again and lengthen the legs out in front. Taking that left leg and bending through the knee and bringing it across that right leg. Making sure the sole of the foot is on the mat. And that right leg is nice and long. And just a nice little forward fold here. Bringing the forehead onto the knee if it feels good. Sitting on that right hip a little bit more, we can tuck that right leg underneath us and stack the left knee over the right. We can allow ourselves to come forward and just hanging out here for a moment. You're going to find one side is different than the other. You might be more flexible on one side than the other. Just note that and allow yourself to take some nice deep breaths. Release any judgment you have about yourself or your body. And just note that this is you. This is your body. Gently begin to come all the way up. And we are going to take our blocks and place both blocks to our right side. As you take the blocks to your right side, comfortably at a nice distance from your body, and bring the right forearm onto the block. Bend through the left elbow as you reach the arm up and take that inside of that left wrist to the back of your head. This might be your first position, and if you want to feel a little bit more challenged, then take one of the blocks away, and once you take that block away, bring that right forearm down and take that left arm all the way up towards the sky, bending through the left elbow again, and let that inner wrist rest behind the head. If you'd like even more of a challenge, take the block completely away and rest that right forearm onto the mat, lifting that left arm up and again bending through that left elbow and letting that inner wrist rest on the back of the head. You can bend through that right elbow and support the right side of the head. Get comfortable. Inhale and exhale. Take that left arm all the way up. And here we're going to adjust ourselves a little bit more as we begin to bring that forearm back down onto the floor, onto the mat, next to the right side of the body. And we're bending through that left elbow. And here we're just relaxing, we're closing our eyes, feeling supported. Again, at any time that you might feel some tingling, any sensations in that left arm, then by all means bring it down and rest the back of the hand onto the lower back, or bring that left hand onto that thigh, that right thigh, or the left thigh. Inhale and exhale, breathing into that left underarm. Breathing into that left hip. Inhale and exhale. As you inhale relaxation, exhale anything unwanted. Inhale relaxation, exhale anything unwanted. Making sure you scan the body all the time for any resistance you might be feeling in your knees or your hips. And if the resistance is causing you pain, then that might not be such a good posture for you. And you might have to come out a little sooner than you had expected. Inhale and exhale. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Allowing yourself to simmer in your posture. Opening up the body energy meridians. And when you're ready, inhale left arm all the way up and begin to sit up. Nice and slow. And when you're ready, help your legs as you bring the legs forward. You can give them a shake or take whatever you need to do to stimulate. And you can take another tabletop as you lift the hips as the soles of the feet come onto the floor. You lengthen out through the arms, fingertips facing forward, heel of the hand facing back. Again, we're going to sit onto that left hip this time. Right knee back, left leg forward. And perhaps the left shin is going to come parallel with the front of the mat. And again, you are going to take your posture, one or two bolsters. And wherever you're at, bring the hands onto the bolster. And then here we're going to take a nice deep breath and let the upper body cascade forward. Again, the elbows come onto the bolster, support the chin or the forehead with your hands. Don't let the head float at all. Support what needs to be supported. And gradually allow yourself to begin to absorb and marinate into your posture. So we are coming into swan on the left side of the body. So you might feel it differently on the left side of the body than the right side of the body. If you'd like to move into a deeper version of your swan, then remove the bolster and come all the way down. Come onto your elbows first, testing the waters, supporting the head, and maybe bringing the forehead all the way down to the mat. Maybe the arms lengthen in front of you. Maybe you might need a block underneath your forehead, but use your props to your best advantage. What works for you may not work for somebody else. So experiment. Inhale and exhale. Always watching the pressure into the knees. Making sure that you're not causing any pinching or pain. Again, stimulating the liver and the kidney, the stomach, the spleen, gallbladder, and the urinary bladder lines. Inhale and exhale. Breathing into the lower back and into the kidneys. Allowing yourself to relax the upper body forward. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe in relaxation. Exhale anything unwanted. Bringing the hands onto the mat, gently begin to rise up. Draw the right leg forward and the left leg. Shaking your legs, maybe here you can begin to take that tabletop again as you lift the hips as the knees are bent, the soles of the feet on the floor. And here we are going to take a nice downward dog. So whenever you're ready, come into your nice downward dog. You can walk out your dog if you like. Come down onto your hands and your knees and sit on your mat. You're going to draw your bolster under your knees as you drape the knees over your bolster. Use your hands behind you and your elbows and come all the way down onto your mat. As you lie on your mat with your knees draped over your bolster, give yourself a full body stretch here. Nice full body stretch. Bring your hands into airplane arms, bend your knees, and let the knees roll all the way over to the left and maybe gaze to the right. Coming into our twist, we love twists. And take it over to the right. As the knees come to the right and the gaze to the left, we are twisting the body as if we are a dirty sponge and we are wringing out all the dirty water or the toxins in our body. Give us a good stretch, nice deep stretch here, and then draw the knees in towards your body and rock from side to side, massaging through the lower back and the kidneys. That should feel really nice. When you're ready, lengthen the legs out and let the knees bend slightly and drape over the bolster. Get comfortable. Now bring the arms by your sides with the palms face up. Let the eyes float in the eye sockets and part the teeth. Let the body become nice and heavy and let it melt into the mat. Let the inner arches of the feet roll away from each other. Breathe into the soles of your feet and into the palms of your hands. Breathe into your eyes and your ears, into your forehead. And breathe into the membrane that covers the top of the skull. And breathe into every hair follicle on your head. Inhale and exhale. Concentrate on your breath as you inhale and exhale through the nose. And gentle awareness of the belly as it rises and falls. And as we come into our Shavasana for a few minutes, allow yourself to relax. Breathe. Beginning now to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Give yourself a full body stretch. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Rock from side to side. Stimulating and massaging the kidneys and the adrenal glands. And here we're rolling all the way over onto our right side and staying here for a few moments. Inhale and begin to sit up, coming to our most comfortable seated position. We're going to take 3 shrugs of the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale the arms all the way up. Bring your hands into prayer at your heart center. Thank yourself for being here and for doing your Yin Yoga. Bow your head in honor of yourself. Inhale, exhale, namaste. Check out more videos at yinyogalifestyle.com.